Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lashana Peters. I am a teacher candidate of the Cyril Potter College of Education attached to the Belladrum Center. Today, I will be presenting for you the process that I went through to make my teaching materials for my micro teaching lesson as part of my assessment for Practicum 1. The topic that I had chosen was business organizations, and my subtopic was stakeholders. Now, the first aid that I created, or I should say, teaching material, is a stakeholder puzzle. Now, for this, I had to get an A4 cardboard, marker, ruler, and a pair of scissors. The definition of stakeholders was written on the cardboard and it was bordered to create uniformity, and I cut it into smaller pieces to give it that puzzle effect. Now, I chose this to stimulate the interest of my students so that they can see that learning can actually be enjoyable, and it also would solving the puzzle would require that they think about the definition of stakeholders that they would have seen from the video that I would have introduced to them, and they would also have to work together in groups to solve the puzzle. So this would encourage collaboration and communication among the students. For my next teaching material, I created a plain aid that depicts the categories of stakeholders. Now, for this too, it was materials were readily available. It was just a cardboard, ruler, and markers. I wrote the information large enough for the students to see, and then I added some designs. Nothing too fancy, but I ensure to underline the headings so that it can stand out to the students and underline the main words for them. Um, this aid would be used to help the students to understand the categories of stakeholders and who they really, or I should say, yes, who they are. And for my next resource that I used, it was a stakeholder matchup game. Now, this is really where the fun comes in, and the materials that I needed were markers, cardboard, plastic, scissors, and a ruler. Now, to create it, I wrote the categories of stakeholders on a sheet of cardboard, and then I cut them and bordered them. And later, I also decided to create cards with the rules of stakeholders. Now, after I would have had those done, I created pockets using clear plastic. I cut them into rectangular pieces so that they could be see through, and I glued the sides of them onto the cardboard. Now, I chose pictures from the internet, printed them out, and then cut them and pasted them. I didn't put them in any particular order, because it needed to have some sort of challenge factor for the students so that they can utilize their critical thinking instead of trying to find a pattern. Then I created labels so that they would be able to identify clearly um, which picture was what stakeholder. Now, as much as it's a game to match, I also plan to use this material to show the students the examples of stakeholders. And now I thought this would be a good idea since the pictures would help visual learners to grasp the concept better. And for kinesthetic learners, they would benefit from the physical activity of placing the cards because each student will have to come up from each group to place the card in the correct pocket. And it would also foster collaboration among group members again because they would have to help each other to figure out what goes where. So that teamwork and communication would be good for their interpersonal skills, and the matching would help to reinforce their understanding of stakeholders and to think critically about the roles and relationships of different stakeholders. So, those were my teaching materials that I utilized. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for zooming into my channel. Do have a great day.